Hi, I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today is Jay Huseman. We want to welcome you to Fan for Racing Radio. And today we are going to be previewing the NASCAR Truck Series race. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you, Sharon. I know some people might be a little disappointed. It's Easter weekend. That's good news, but the Cup Series has obviously been off. But the Truck Series, Xfinity, and the ARCA Menard Series East are all headed to the Rock, and that's good news as well.
That is very good news. I'm super excited about it. And we'll go ahead and get started with the Truck Series because they are racing the Black's Tire 200 at Rockingham Speedway, and that is a 0.94 mile asphalt oval. So not quite a mile long, Jay. They will be racing on Friday, April the 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be available on Fox Sports 1 at 5 p.m. Eastern, as well as the NASCAR Racing Network and SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90. They'll race a distance of 188 miles over 200 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 45. Stage 2, also 45 laps, ends on lap 90. And the final stage is 110 laps, ending on lap 200. So I will tell you that the Truck Series practice and Kennametal Pole qualifying will be on FS2 this week, starting at 12:30 p.m. That's Friday, April the 18th. Following that will be the Xfinity Series practice at 3 p.m., and that's on the CW app. And so we will have qualifying and practice and the race all on Friday for the Truck Series.
And with that, for the Truck Series, if you catch qualifying, not going to be as intense because there's only 35 drivers or teams for 36 spots. Some notables there to look at. Number one will be the number one of Brandon Jones. Sammy Smith this week in the 07. The 56 will be Timmy Hill. Luke Fenhouse back in the number 66. And returning to the number 75 is Parker Kligerman. So as we get into some other storylines and insights, this weekend is the third running of the Craftsman Truck Series at Rockingham Speedway, but it's their first since 2013. They did in 2012, 2023, and then 2025.
Yeah, that was 2012, 2013, and 2025. The stages at Rockingham, I already mentioned those. First two are 45 laps each. So they end on lap 45 for the stage 1, lap 90 for stage 2, and 110 laps for the final stage that ends on lap 200.
And Sharon mentioned too, now Rockingham measures at 0.94 mile, just under, as opposed to the 1 mile or 1.017 miles in the past. And there's a couple factors for that with the safer barriers and all the adjustments they've made to have the NASCAR top threes at their track.
All right. Now, Kyle Larson won the last race at Rockingham back in 2013. Casey Kane won the only other race that was there, and that was in 2012. And he is going to be in the race this week.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Now, we'll go in more in depth on the Triple Truck Challenge for 2025, but this is the last race here at Rockingham for this year.
Daniel Hemrick won at Martinsville, Chandler Smith at Bristol, and they're the only drivers eligible for the 150K Triple Truck Challenge bonus at Rockingham. No drivers are eligible to win the $500,000 bonus for this season.
And talk about lack of experience, that goes to all drivers except 3, because we only have 3 drivers on this preliminary entry list that have raced at Rockingham in the trucks. Matt Crafton's got 2 starts, as well as Norm Benning. Then Grant Enfinger and Parker Kligerman have 1 each. So kind of leveling the playing field there, if you will.
That might give them a slight advantage. We'll see, because as you mentioned, it's a different size than what they raced before.
That too.
Now, Rockingham is one of 4 tracks to return to the Craftsman Truck Series schedule for this season. Rockingham, Michigan, Watkins Glen, and New Hampshire are all four of those tracks.
Now, going back with a little bit of history, the NASCAR Cup Series raced at Rockingham from 1965 to 2004, and then the Xfinity Series from 1982 to 2004.
It was Parker Kligerman winning at Rockingham in the ARCA series back in 2009.
Overall, for the Truck Series, Corey Heim with 2 victories is the only repeat winner in 2025 when we look at the total winners list.
Okay, now each of the last 5 races this season have been won by a different driver.
Oh, see if we can keep that going, get that number up.
Yes, indeed.
Now, the last 20 races have ended at the scheduled distance. That is now tied for the longest streak ever without an overtime finish in the Craftsman Truck Series. Another one I'd like to see kind of break that record.
Interesting. Now, Chandler Smith is the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 6 Truck Series races this season. That's a record for the most races to start a season, finishing in the top 10. Now, Ron Hornaday, back in 1996, he had 19 races into the top 10.
Now, Corey Heim and Tyler Ankrum, those are the 2 drivers that lead all drivers with 4 top 5 finishes. So they're a little bit above the rest of them with top 5 finishes here in 2025.
Okay, Corey Heim is also the only driver to lead all 6 races of this season.
We got a couple of drivers. We'll start with Chandler Smith at 6, Tyler Ankrum at 5, and Jake Garcia with 3 are all on a career-long top 10 finish streak. So that's good to see for Jake Garcia.
Congratulations to all 3 of those drivers. Now, Raja Caruth led 85 laps at Bristol last week, Jay. That's more than he had in his 55 Truck Series starts prior and combined. So those 185 laps that he led last week are more than his previous 55 Truck Series races.
I know they were talking about that, and just in 2025, the 110 laps led total, now, yet no top 5s. That's the most laps led for a driver through the first 6 races since Chuck Bown back in 1998.
We're going back a ways.
Long ways.
Now, Bailey Curry led 14 laps at Bristol last week. That's more than he had led in his 70 priors combined. He got his first stage win by winning stage 2. I was real happy to see Bailey Curry doing that.
Indeed, and I know that the broadcasters during the race specifically talked about both of those, highlighting those 2 points for Raja Caruth and Bailey Curry, as they had some good races there. Now, only 3 drivers gained points to the playoff cutoff at Bristol. Tyler Ankrum gained 9, Ben Rhodes gained 6, and Lane Riggs gained 1. Every other winless driver lost points towards the cut line, and we'll look at that a little bit later.
Yes, indeed. Now, the 94 lead changes of this season are the most ever through 6 races in the Craftsman Truck Series, Jay. So that's good news. I really like them racing this year. It seems like they have a little more control and they're a little more disciplined this year.
I would have to agree with that statement. Now, good news or bad news, depending on how you want to look at it, but the Craftsman Truck Series is 1/3 of the way through their regular season already.
Wow.
Time's flying. Yeah, time's flying.
That's amazing. Okay, let's talk about the Triple Truck Challenge rundown, and then you can talk about the Triple Truck Challenge winners, Jay. The 25 Triple Truck Challenge features 3 races. Martinsville on March 28th, Daniel Hemrick won. At Bristol on April 11th, Chandler Smith won. And now this weekend, April 18th, at Rockingham Speedway, we're going to find out who the next Triple Truck Challenge winner is. All Truck Series drivers are eligible. However, the Triple Truck Challenge will not be open to NASCAR Xfinity or NASCAR Cup Series regulars who participate in any of those races. The highest finishing full-time Craftsman Truck Series driver of the race will receive that $50,000 bonus. Now, if a driver wins the Triple Truck Challenge in 2 of 3 events, they are awarded a $50,000 bonus for their second win and an additional $50,000, bringing the total prize winnings to $150,000. So right now, the two people that are eligible for that are Daniel Hemrick and Chandler Smith. They're the only two that could make that happen this weekend. Now, if a driver wins the Triple Truck Challenge in all 3 designated events, they are awarded that $50,000 bonus for the third win, an additional $300,000, bringing the total prize winnings to $500,000. Unfortunately, nobody's going to be able to bring home $500,000 this weekend, but that is one of the rules. Now, since its inception into the Craftsman Truck Series in 2019, the Triple Truck Challenge has awarded $1,050,000 in bonus prize money. So that's pretty cool. Daniel Hemrick won his first Triple Truck Challenge bonus of his career, again at Martinsville, and Chandler Smith won his first Triple Truck Challenge bonus of his career at Bristol. Now, Smith becomes the 17th different driver to win a Triple Truck Challenge bonus. So that's some of the eligibility, but we've had quite a few people who have won the Triple Truck Challenge over the years, Jay.
That's right. And nobody has actually completed that sweep to pick up the bonus. We'll look at that a little further here. In 2019, it was Greg Biffle at Texas, Brett Moffitt at Iowa, and Ross Chastain at Gateway, each getting $50K each. In 2020, here's where Sheldon Creed had a shot at it. He won the Daytona Road Course and then at Gateway to pick up $150K, and Zane Smith got the other 50 at Dover. Every other year, though, it's been 3 separate drivers, with 2025 yet to be determined. We're looking 2021. There's Sheldon Creed at Darlington, Todd Gillen at Circuit of Americas, and then John Hunter Nemechek at Charlotte. In 2022, it was Corey Heim at Gateway, Ryan Preece at Nashville, and Parker Kligerman at Mid-Ohio. In 2023, Charlotte went to Ben Rhodes, Gateway went to Grant Infinger, and Nashville to Carson Hocevar. In 2024, last season, it was Nick Sanchez at Charlotte to get a new name in there, Corey Heim at Gateway, and then Christian Ecke's another new name to pop up at Nashville. As Sharon mentioned, it's Daniel Hemrick at Martinsville and Chandler Smith at Bristol so far this year. So Sheldon Creed has 3 total for his career. Corey Heim right now at 2 could be the third. And again, we'll have at least not the sweep, but Chandler Smith or Daniel Hemrick could pick up the $150K.
Yes, indeed. Okay, now there are some legends that are going to be at the track today, Jay. Kenny Schrader and Kenny Wallace are set to appear at Thunderfest in downtown Rockingham on Thursday, April the 17th. That's ahead of the April 18 and 19 return to Rockingham Speedway. Now the duo they're hosting an unfiltered, interactive Q&A on April 18th at 2 p.m. at Rockingham Speedway in the fan zone DJ stage ahead of the Black's Tire 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Now, offering fans unique insights and stories from their legendary racing careers, the 2 former NASCAR stars host the Herm and Schrader Show, part of the Dirty Mo Media platform, which has over 125,000 followers on YouTube. Now, fans are encouraged to ask questions at the event and bring signs to wave at the duo in the fan zone. So pretty cool to see Herm and Schrader at the track today and tomorrow.
Indeed. And now the much anticipated return of the NASCAR racing to Rockingham Speedway has been met with an overwhelming response by our enthusiastic fans as they bought up every Saturday grandstand ticket to witness the North Carolina Education Lottery 250 presented by Black's Tire NASCAR Xfinity Series race and the Rockingham 125, the ARCA Menard Series East race. And we'll preview both of those coming up here in just a few minutes.
Exactly right. So, do have some other information we can share with you with regard to the NASCAR Truck Series at Rockingham. Fresh from a convincing victory at Bristol Motor Speedway, a win that denied runner-up Kyle Larson a sweep in NASCAR's 3 National Series last week. Chandler Smith comes to Rockingham Speedway second in the Craftsman Truck Series standings. He's got his sights set on a top spot, so we'll see if he's able to do that this weekend.
And I think we already hit this, but just a reminder: Chandler Smith is the only driver to have finished in the top 10 in all 6 Craftsman Truck Series races this weekend. Going into this weekend, he'll try to extend that in Friday's Black Tire 200.
Okay, now Smith trails series leader Corey Heim by just 18 points. Now, neither driver has ever raced at the .94-mile track, which last hosted the Truck Series back in 2013. So, neither of them have been at this track before, but both of them adapt pretty well to different tracks. So, we'll see if Corey Heim keeps his lead or if Chandler Smith snags it right out from under.
And we covered everything else there about the Triple Truck Challenge. The only thing left to say is who takes that final 50K and any additional bonuses. We'll talk about that on the review show come Monday.
Okay, so just to keep everyone posted on what's coming next. Jay and I are doing the Truck Series now. Next, we're going to do the ARCA East Series race at Rockingham, and then the Xfinity Series at Rockingham. So stay tuned for more coming there. But then on the other side of the race weekend, we'll do all of the reviews of those same races, and then we have our Hot Topic Sound Off segment coming up at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time for the NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off. We had a few hot topics from last week, from this past Monday, that we didn't get to, so we'll have some carryover there.
Well, I know one of them was the Rockingham, and we can just change it from what we think about what's coming to what we saw happen at the Rock.
There you go. That works for me. Okay, we also want to tell everyone thank you for watching. We have a lot of fun doing these shows, and we hope you enjoy watching them as well. So stay tuned for our next video, and we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.